Hello everyone. Hey guys. Okay, so is it now okay? Now I think it's okay. Thank you for letting me know. I thought my audio was on, but it wasn't. So I will do the introduction again. Yeah, so what we are doing here is making this. Where is it? Where is it? I'm making this scene here. I've provided a link in the chat for you to check out the artist's work if you want to give them a follow. So we're going to attempt and do something like this. We're just using this as inspiration. We're not going to copy directly. We're just going to use it to just get as inspiration, and it's kind of an Egyptian looking scene. So yeah. Okay, so again, hello Blender Best, hello Kajid, hello Blender Boost, hello Aditya Danraj. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get started. I've used the watershed that we created in previous videos, but if you don't know how to create things like that, you can just use the exclamation. You can use the command !! Course, and that should get you the link to the course that will get you through the basics of using materials in Blender. Hello Pranub, hello Mohammed. How are you guys? So let's set up everything. I'm just going to make this a bit wider and maybe longer. Apply the scale. Now that's going to be our water. I can maybe reduce on the displacement amount. And maybe what I can do is just make sure that this is fed into the normal instead of the displacement. So I'll just use a vector bump map here and connect that to the normal instead of using the displacement, so that I have control over the strength. Hello Burning Bright, glad to see you. How are you doing? Okay, let me just give this a moment for the shader to compile. Reduce the strength. Hey, this shader seems a bit heavy. Kind of slowing down the entire scene. Anyway, let me first expand this. I'm not sure if I want to use EV or cycles. I will see later. Okay, so this is what we have. Increase the detail and the roughness, and reduce on the strength, and make sure that the roughness is completely reflective like that. Okay, so let's start by making some of these pillars here. Doesn't look too complicated. So let me first turn on random colors here. I'll start with a very large block, or maybe something like a cube here. Have it on the left here, and I can use a mirror modifier like that. Now I can just extrude up and start detailing, creating some details, or turn on clipping, extrude this in like that. We can even start setting up our camera here. So I'm just going to move the camera at the center like that, maybe even lower it a bit, just move it up and give it a very wide focal length, and just make these really tall, just so we have some good scale, make this look large scale. I'm also going to search for some concrete materials I have, see which one fits best. Let me try this. This is the concrete we used yesterday, and I think it came out looking nice. So I'm going to use it here again. Hola, como esta? I don't know how to. Yeah, I'm not sure how to reply that, but hola as well. Okay, so if you look closely, these blocks here have these brick details like this, and you can use textures to add them, but textures are not going to capture shadows and ambient occlusion very well. So I'm going to try something I haven't tried before and try and use. Hello Vinit, hola como está? Hello Alens Tanwa, how are you? So yeah, instead of using textures, I'm going to use booleans to shape these details. So I'm going to come in here and let me start with a plane like this. Just a skeleton like that, and I can go in and first apply the scale, add a loop like that, and I just push it in a bit, and I maybe even add a few subdivisions here, add a few subdivisions here, add a few subdivisions here. And what I'm going to do is let me see, bridge this side, face of this side, face of this side, and I think I can grab this, extrude out, maybe even add some resolution here like that. Another thing I might need to do is let me grab something like this, an edge in the middle here, extrude it down to something like that, maybe add a loop here, just grab this edge and make sure that I align them to, let me use active element, align them on the Y like that, and I can also start adding some resolution on this, maybe even add some loops here and here. So I want to use this as a boolean to cut out different slots like these to add in those details, because I don't think using just hello Zigzag, how are you doing? Glad to see you. I'm good. Where do you find so good reference images? I use ArtStation a lot, and you can check out the link I've added in the chat if you want to. Yeah, so I want to use this as a boolean. So what I'm going to do is go back here and viewport display, make sure this is wireframe. Actually, before I use wireframe, I can change this to solid again. What I want to do is give it a displacement. Maybe let me first demo what I want to do. You're good, Zigzag? Good to know, good to know. So I want to use a boolean for this. So if I add a mirror, sorry, not a mirror, but a boolean, and select this as the object. Let me hide. Let me turn on wireframe, maybe have this. Just seeing if this is, so you can see how that captures the details a bit better. Do you have an NFT account? No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, so like this, and I think I need to use to unwrap this using projection mapping or something. Let me use cube, and the UVs will also get better projected like that. Work it on new models. You can inspire me to do some new work. You want me to work on some new models? Working on models, just a single model can be, yeah, can be a bit boring. So that's why you see I try to switch out projects. Okay, so what I want, this is going to be our displacement, and you can see how it's cutting out the different parts. So what I can do is give this a displacement as well. Give it a displacement. I'll use a clouds texture. Just reduce the energy or the strength, something like that. And you can see how it's chipping out, how it's giving us a kind of an organic cut. Let me turn on ambient occlusion here, maybe make it more pronounced. Like that. You can see how we're getting some nice details in there with just a simple thing like this. And the other thing we could do is change the orientation, the coordinates to global, like that, so that we can vary these when we move around. And maybe increase the strength a bit. We can even make some of these deeper. And I can go to the display and change this to wireframe so that we can see the results much better. So if I turn off this, you can see how that is creating the cuts, which I think looks interesting. Maybe reduce the strength a bit, like that. Now, I can use an array on this. It should be below the displacement. Maybe it should be above the displacement, but just a little bit like that. So I can move this on the X. And then maybe let's look at this from this angle here. And let's look at this. So we can basically add these details like that if you wanted. Have them deep or just very simple details like that. I can, instead of using, I'm going to go back to this, and instead of using object, I'm going to use a collection, and I'll call this, I'll add this to a brick collection or bool brick collection. That's good technique, but after cutting, edges are still sharp. Yeah, they are going to still be sharp. We can come back in and try to extrude some of these faces a bit, maybe even add a few blocks. We'll see how we can fix that. So instead of here, we're going to use the brick collection like that. And maybe something like that. If you don't want to use the array, you can just duplicate this around. Just duplicate this, and you can see how we get something like that. I can even have this here like that. So we can basically create our own blocks. One thing I'm noticing is that maybe this here has a lot of polygons. It's kind of slowing down. Let me first go back to the display of this. Just reduce some of these polygons. We don't need them to be that many. The more polygons you have, the slower the boolean is going to be. And since we are going to add a lot of bricks, let's try and reduce some of these. We don't need these polygons this side. think that is good enough. I will bring this back to wireframe. You can see, can even extend this about here. And I think I could have the boolean above the mirror. It doesn't work very well. So let me up that. So we don't have to add these everywhere. Why not use geometry nodes? Because geometry nodes requires a lot of setup to do. And I'm not even sure how to approach a project like this in geometry nodes. There are several techniques you can use. You can even sculpt these directly, but I find doing this is going to be much fun. So let me do that. So you can see, just like this, we can manage to add in quite some interesting detail without doing a lot. Make sure that this is using fast. See, just like that. Okay, I think that's good. I can also add a few of these. I'm actually just going to grab these pieces here, duplicate them, and rotate them 90 degrees. And just use them to cut this side. You see, like that. And then I'm just going to apply the boolean here. Let me first undo, apply the mirror, apply the boolean. Now let me first go back to this collection and just get rid of all these parts. So now I can come in here and just connect this edge loop, grab everything on the left, delete, and use the mirror and mirror this like that. And we have a nice detailed piece. Like this. And now we can duplicate this, make a bigger one like that. Just going to grab these edges, and here this entire edge loop. Turn on clipping, just have this connected. Now it would have been better if these edge loops were rounded, but let me see if I can round them off. Shift in. Let me just grab the straighter edges like these, try to round them off like that. Yeah, I think that's much better. I'm also going to round off this. The noise cutter add-on is also good for booleans and displacement. I haven't checked it out. Yeah, so I have something like that, and I can come back to this, just bring it down, extrude up, and if you look closely, this has some detailed edge loops here. So let's add some extrusions like that. I think I can even just scale this down a bit. Like that. Now, since we have these details already done, I can duplicate this again. Let me first get rid of the mirror. can just, because I only need this top part here, so this here, and just delete the bottom part. I can use it for this area here. Let me reset the origin, just rotate this. Just have these, maybe scale it down. Now another thing we could do is grab, let me see what can I grab. I can grab a few of these bricks because we have managed to create a few nice interesting brick shapes. So something like that. Let me see what else. These Shift D separate them into their own object. Yeah, let me first get rid of the mirror, and let me make sure that this is connected, and I can get rid of this face. Then I can extrude these and just use cube projection like that. Shift N to recalculate normal. So we have something like that, and also want to round off the corners just a bit of these bricks. Control B, just a bit like that, so they can catch some nice reflections. I'm having some Boolean issues here. I'm going to merge that edge. Yes. We don't need a lot of polygons, so because we're going to use let me first separate this into their own objects and just reset their origin to geometry, and move these to be somewhere like that. Yeah, so we're going to use these as bricks. So let me also make sure that I'm saving. I'll call this Egyptian river. I'll get these into their own collection. I'll call it let me use auto smooth here. I'll call this bricks, and I can disable that for now. Then for this wall here, I can just grab the faces, the faces here. Let me see. I just want the large faces. This, maybe even the top part here. Go into vertex group, give him a vertex group, then let's go to the modifiers. Sorry, to the particle system. Give this a hair particle system. It's going to be all over, but let's first go back here. Under vertex group, let's use the vertex group we created. I like that. And turn on advanced. Nice job. Thank you. Ashir Raham. Thank you. We only need about 200 particles. We don't need all of those. And let me make sure that the modifier here is below the mirror modifier, and source turn on modifier stack like that. Then I want to emit from faces, random, and let's see what else. What else? Under render, we need to change from path to collection and select the bricks like that. Can give them a scale. Let's make sure that the length is 1, and then the scale is 1 as well. Scale randomness. like that. The material is a bit too reflective for me, so let me just make it less reflective first. So go under here, add a math node. Like that. I think that makes it a bit less reflective. Hello, Molo. Looks like elephant temple in Egypt. Even the boat is similar. The real artist definitely been to Egypt. Yeah, nice. So you mean there is a place like this? Oh, that's amazing. Really amazing. Because it looks quite great. So it's called the Elephant Temple. Let me see. Egypt Elephant Temple. He may not have been to Egypt, but maybe he's just a good artist who does a lot of research. Your work is amazing. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Yohesh Kumar. Hello, Kevin Gardner. Good morning as well. Okay, so I don't like how the buttons, these are rotated. So I need to go back to the bricks. Let me grab them. Grab these bricks. And let me apply the rotation first. And go to the particle system or to the hair system and play around with the rotation. So that's the normal. If we're using the normal rotation, that's what we get. And I think I need to edit, so we have something like that. That will just give us some bit of extra detail on top of this. But we don't need that many. Let's try maybe 20. And let's use, we need to use faces. No even distribution. And I don't want them to protrude out too much, so just bring them back a bit like that. Just a few like that. Now we can give this the same modifier, Control L, and that will just copy it will copy the bricks on top of this, which I'm not very sure of. So let's reduce the scale. So maybe reduce the scale like that. Then here, we can grab this, just duplicate it. Hello, Ganja Farmer. Hello, Daria Game Dev. How are you guys doing? Glad to see you. Glad to see you are joining us. Just going to have this on the side like this, and I think for this I need to just insert this maybe, so it's something like that. And now we can duplicate it on the other side. Actually, what I'm going to do is just use an array like that. Have it duplicated and mirrored on the X like that. And remember our bricks, I can just grab them. Let me see. Can't do that. Can I duplicate? I can just grab any of these bricks, Alt D, but I don't want them to be. Actually, what I can do is waiting for the final result. No problem. Ask Ashik. Is it like it's like he made a combination of different places in Laksa and Aswan, the lake, and both from Elephant Temple, and the big gates are from Kana. And sorry for not saying good morning. No problem, man. Yes. I'm not very familiar with the Egyptian architects, so I really have nothing to say there. So I want to have also these bricks on here. So I'm going to add a plane because I don't want to add them directly onto the surface. Just going to add a plane like this. Just have it flow like that. Maybe give it a few subdivisions and Control L, link, copy modifiers, and that should copy the particle system as well. So I can go to the object and turn it to textured, but in the instancing, you can turn off our viewport. You can see now we have some nice particles on this, and I guess that's the same thing I should do for this. So instead of having the particle system onto the surface itself, so let me remove this. I'll remove it here as well. It's much easier to add the particles onto a plane like this. It will get a better distribution like that. Now let me see these particles. These, yeah, okay, they are beveled, except these. Let me come in here. I want to round off these edges as well on this side. How did you make the water? The water is just a displacement material with a noise for the displacement. So you can see it's a noise. If you push that into a bump map under the height and push that into the normal, you get the water. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see how the plane is adding some detail. We can reuse it here. So I'm just going to rotate it on the X. Apply rotation. Just have it on there. I just wrap this. Can push it in a bit. Just wrap this around. I even extrude this. You can see we get the bricks like that. It's much faster. It's easier to render as well. It's easy to place. It doesn't take a lot of. It's not too heavy on Blender. That's what I try to mean. Just do something like that. So I can even increase the count. But because this is the wall, I'm just going to change it into a different object and maybe increase the scale just a bit. And maybe let's scale this down. Not reduce the count or scale it up. I don't want particles extruding out, so I'm just going to get rid of the faces here so that we don't have that. So grab this edge loop, push that in like that, and I can also extend this, extrude this like that, and we have something like that. Now we can just duplicate this again and have it on this as well. So and since they're the same shape, we can get away by just doing something like that. Is it your portfolio work or client project? I'm just having fun. Just saw something I liked on ArtStation, so I decided to just do the same. Try to replicate it myself. Okay. Yeah, these walls need to be extended. So I'm just going to grab or create a cube like this, a very large queue. Just extrude it, and that is going to be, it's going to have the same material. Control L, link materials, apply the scale, and maybe even give this the same modifiers. Like that. Or better yet, instead of using a new object, we can just reuse this because it has the brick detail on it. You can just Shift D, separate it into its own object. Use some Boolean action to your scene. Use some Boolean action to your scene. We have done that to create those details. Or do you mean to chip off some to add damage? Okay, so I want another brick detail here. Just for damage, yeah, we can do that. Just trying to make an interesting wall here. Repeat this. Actually, you can just join it. Can join it like that. Mirror it. Like that. Let me first turn off these. You can repeat this. We can repeat this block. Can repeat it like that. And then repeat the water. Which texture quality you use are very random. I mix textures a lot with different resolutions. How long time can you sit in one place, and what you do for back pain? Well, I don't sit a lot. Actually, I do sit a lot. But I haven't experienced any back pain. So I gotta do some exercise. Most of the time after I stream, I go out and swim for a few hours, maybe 2